this was a bold move as a sorority, African American at that, deciding to be an executive producer or producer of a film. It had just never been done before.
I, at the time, thought, oh, these women are so innovative. It was very inspiring for me that they were participating in the contemporary effort of media activism.
For us to even think about doing a movie was like, wow, are they gonna let us do a movie? Black women? They may not think we know what we're doing.
We were so excited, so excited. It was a grand premiere, and we knew that it had been filmed in Africa.
A film with major players, Ruby Dee and Ossie Davis. Their names were up on the marquee.
I had people here to say to me, you know, it's going to win the Academy Award, you know, that kind of thing.
Even the history itself is a box office history. The attempt, the Ossie Davis effort, all the different folks who participated on the part of the sorority is an amazing history.
It was about more than just this sort of side note in history about the making of a film, but was very much about an organization, a Black women's organization, who not only made a movie, but became involved in a media activism effort. Their goal was to change Hollywood. That's an incredible story.
In the 1960s, "Say It Loud, I'm Black and I'm Proud" became the battle cry for African Americans to accept our dark skin and turn a perceived negative aspect of our very being into a positive.
The Black consciousness movement was really in a stronghold for many Black people, and me being one of them.
Some white people were not interested at that point in time in seeing a bunch of Black people who were empowering themselves.
A new race pride had been awakened, a social awareness had been raised, and a multitude of filmed images was about to hit the silver screens to help solidify our fresh new Black consciousness. Melvin Van Peebles' independent film Sweet Sweetback's badass song, with its rebellious anti-hero lead, kicked what became known as the Blaxploitation era into high gear. Lasting from 1971 to 1976, it was 5 years of angry soul brothers and soul sisters, kicking the man's butt all over the big screen. These films had hard-hitting titles like Shaft, Superfly, Slaughter, Sheba Baby, Trouble Man, Hitman, Coffee, Cleopatra Jones, Hell Up in Harlem, Black Belt Jones, and Blackula, giving Black actors on the screen a power and identity like never before. Controversy soon erupted over how negative many of these images actually were. To some, the glorification of pimps, hookers, and drug dealers was no better than the olden day stereotypes of mammies, coons, and Uncle Toms. Regardless, these films were making a lot of money, and due to the tremendous rise in television viewership, they saved many Hollywood studios from filing bankruptcy. At the Delta Sigma Theta Sorority's National Convention in 1973, President Lillian P. Benbow announced that through the organization's Commission on Arts and Letters, a full-length, Hollywood-style motion picture was to be made. Members were troubled by the way women were being portrayed in blaxploitation films.
Blaxploitation films were typically low budget, had extraordinary representations of violence, often didn't present the Black community well, and specifically the image of women was really troubling, of Black women. And so Delta is seeking to, again, intervene on these troublesome narratives that cast the Black community generally as deficient and deviant, and said, we're about doing something different. We can do something better. We can make a compelling story about Blackness, that is Black life and history and culture, without reducing it to these really base stereotypes of Blackness.
It was time to take control of their on-screen image, enter into the realm of media activism, and become the first Black women's organization to produce a feature-length film. Thus, the KUSINI concept was born.
It was exciting. It was an idea that the membership sort of on the whole sort of supported. They thought there was a need for good images and it would be a positive thing.
Shot in and around Lagos, Nigeria, Countdown at KUSINI is a Pan-African melodrama, a tale of political intrigue centered on an African-American jazz musician who falls for a beautiful rebel freedom fighter. When a mercenary assassin is hired to kill the popular rebel leader, he becomes entangled in the struggle for the independence of the fictional African nation of Fahari.
But its struggle continues.
To kill the snake, one first cuts off the head. I have said it over and over and over. Get Matapu into the open and kill him.
The Arts and Letters Commission, largely headed by the national president then, Lillian Pierce Bimbo, and with Jean Noble, Dr. Jean Noble, who was the chairman of the commission, they formulated an idea to have the movie. We established a separate corporation, DST Telecommunication, a subsidiary of Delta Sigma Theta, totally separate. Therefore, we created a new organization to begin to work on this movie idea. As a volunteer public service organization, we proceeded to raise money. We went into partnership with several different people. And then Delta Sigma Theta membership made contributions to the film. And these were separate funds of the sorority raised specifically for the film. They were not a part of the sorority's regular budget and income.
I have a copy of my receipt. And I donated $700, and the date is 1974. And the check was made out to DST Telecommunications, and it's just proof that I had confidence in Lillian Pierce Bimbo and all of those connected with this film.
Generally speaking, people were giving their money. They knew that if they gave it, they might not get it back. We did not promise that it would be a success. There were no promises other than we knew that we had well-recognized actors and actresses who were going to perform in a film, and that we knew we had a problem with the media and the portrayal of the Black condition in the United States as well as in Africa. So therefore we were going forward with an idea that we thought had high acceptance.
The film itself is a complicated film. It is a transnational film. The shooting of the film took longer than had been expected. There was more than one trip to Nigeria. That was costly as well. So there was a lot of additional fundraising that was necessary. Ossie Davis was so committed to this project that he reaches into his own pocket to support this effort that he was wholly committed to. In the end, upwards of $1.2 million was invested in Countdown at KUSINI.
If you are a person who is interested in film, a person who knows how important it is to set agendas, to create images, it's just more than mere entertainment, then I think you have more interest, more enthusiasm, I guess a feeling of this could be great for us, because it means taking a step out to the business world and being a new kind of sorority.
The Countdown at KUSINI folks were in the same boat with most of us who were coming into cinema and think we're discovering Columbus discovered America stuff. In the 1940s, 30s, African-American filmmakers began the four-walling history. Oscar Micheaux was the principal originator of four-walling movies. So those folks could have referred to Oscar Micheaux's technique to four-wall Countdown at KUSINI.
The big plan for distribution was to use the resources of the sororities to support the distribution of the movie. In that, I'm saying that we plan to use a method called four-walling, wherein the chapters would support the release of the movie and opening of the movie in the various cities.
But often we think going with the mainstream, to be sanctioned by the mainstream, to let Hollywood put its stamp on us, we feel is the way out, because deeply rooted is our colonial mindset. Even us, we wanted a Hollywood distributor to take it until we realized how insulting the journey was.
When chapters were preparing to release the films, receive the films in the cities and get the theaters full of people, that's what you're supposed to do in four-walling, I guess, the persons with the distribution responsibilities made a plan and just released the films in the cities without the coordination that would have been important to make it successfully four-walled. And at the same time, whatever agreement had been made that we probably didn't understand as well with home box office, after a couple of weeks, the home box office aspect of that agreement kicked right in, and they sold it off to home box office. Then people were telling us they're seeing it on home box office all over the country, and it just sort of fizzled.
Every chapter could have had a screening. Members from those chapters would have attended, and at the cost of a film at that particular time, the movie would have made quite a bit of money, and it would have been a financial success. But because it was prevented from being distributed as normal film, as Hollywood films are, as basically films are distributed among the theaters, then it didn't have a chance.
Just imagine, DST, telecommunication, we could have been a powerhouse, producing a movie, 85,000 women, bigger than Oprah and Om, bigger than Tyler Perry. Oh, just the thought of it gives me chills.